All right, welcome back to the podcast. We're going to welcome back Coach Rudolph. Third time coming back, so I didn't scare him away this summer. He's now co-offensive coordinator, I believe, and offensive line coach at Ohio University. Coach, I just remembered, I forgot I have an Ohio shirt in there, and I couldn't wear it because I rushed in here, so I didn't wear it. It's in there. I have an Ohio football shirt in there. I forgot to wear it, but welcome back.
Appreciate it. Glad to be back. Thank you for having me.
Um, how's Athens going? I forgot to ask them when we hopped on. Family's doing good. Everything's going well.
Everything's going well. We're like everybody else. We're ready to get going. We've had of course, our guys here all summer, and they've been working extremely hard. But it's time to get going. We've had a couple days off here in July. June is crazy with recruiting and everything that goes along with it. From the transfer portal part of it to, official visits for high school guys and trying to get all that done in camps. And so June was crazy, but, July, we've had a little bit of time to kind of take a deep breath and the NCAA's allowed us to get some things done with our guys, which we haven't been able to do, which we were fired up about, and I think is going to put a better product out on the field in the fall across the nation. So had a little bit of time to take a deep breath, but also been able to work with our guys a little bit. And but it's time to get going now.
Yeah, you have more responsibility now being co-OC. You got a little more.
Yeah, you know what? Tim is awesome. But Tim, Tim's definitely a great head coach, but he's still an offensive guy, and he still has a ton to do with what we're doing offensively. And Izzy's calling it. So, hey, I just try not to screw everything up. That's what I try to do.
Me too. We're talking about all the things. It's like I screwed something up today, but I try not to. And then I try to blame the defense. I'm like, the defensive coach. Like, it was his fault. Don't worry about it.
That's right.
But great to have you back. I was fired up when you texted me, like, yeah, I'll come back. I was like, yes, because I told Coach Bandstra, I said, I think I scared him away. I'm going to leave him alone.
No. And you know what? Coach Bandstra, what a great dude, number one. But he's a meathead, so don't believe anything he says to you anyway.
That's why I'm afraid when he says come visit. I'm like, what am I getting myself into if I come out to Ohio?
Yeah, he's over on that other side of Ohio, so we just need to get you. We need to get you down to Athens and come hang out in Athens for a little bit.
If I didn't coach 3 sports, I was going to come in the spring. If nothing happened, I thought about it, but then
that's crazy. That's crazy. You don't stop. You go right from throwing or blocking, or catching or tackling to bouncing a basketball and shooting, then to right into baseball. There's no stop for you. And they actually probably all overlap.
I think I get like 4 days off in between or something like that.
That's crazy.
And 2 of those days are like the weekend. So you get like 2 days on the weekend and like 2 days during the week, and then you're off and running.
That's crazy.
Then when Thanksgiving and Christmas rolls around, if there's 2 or 3 days off, I'm taking advantage. I say no practice, nothing.
Heck yeah.
I'll go see my parents and I'm out of here. And you guys do the same.
My dad was always a baseball coach, but he never coached the winter sport, anything in the winter. So we always had a good Christmas break, and he had some downtime from the end of football season to the start of baseball season. And he coached at a school that was a really, really good baseball school. Well, it's kind of crazy. In fact, he's got a young man that he coached. There was a pitcher that's actually pitching for the Guardians now. And then a young man that he coached just got drafted out of Mississippi State. So they've had a long, long, long tradition of great baseball. So they start baseball pretty early, right after basically the middle of January, they'll get started in baseball. But still, you've still got the month of December and half of January where he's not on a ball field, where he's not on a basketball court like you are, So that's crazy to me. And you and all the high school coaches that do that, my hat's off to you, because what y'all are doing for young men and young women all across this country, to me, is the heartbeat of this country.
And I know we got to keep moving along, but there's less and less of us. They were posting it, and I think I just saw a coach yesterday post this job board in Texas, all this coaching jobs that are open, and nobody's going after them.
Right.
Like, there's less and less of us. Like, we lost 4 or 5 coaches in the spring for football, whether it was no teaching sections or anything like that. We did not fill it until like the end of June.
Wow.
Like it took that long to try to find people that could commit the time and be there. And not that they didn't have to be in the building at that point, like just somebody. And there's nobody. It's hard to find coaches now. It's so hard.
That's crazy.
I don't know how to fix the coaching world, but I can't really do much but tell people how great it is. But that's all I can do. Like there's other things at B that I can't control, money and all that stuff. And then there's a ref shortage now that we've dealt with. I had 4 or 5 baseball games without an umpire. Like we didn't have it.
That is crazy.
We're gonna have 3 football games on a Thursday night this year instead of a Friday night, like that type of stuff. And I try to tell people, be nice to the refs, and that's so we just come out of a COVID pandemic. Now we're kind of in a coaching, education, ref pandemic thing going on now, and it's not just Illinois; it's all over. And I don't know how to fix it, but maybe Coach Rudolph's knowledge fixes it. I don't
know. I don't know. I'm like you, just go to work every day, and I do think we're in the greatest industry. The most rewarding. I know. For me to sit here and say that we don't get paid well, I get paid well, but there's a lot of people in this industry that don't get paid well. And when you factor in the amount of time, the amount of stress, all of those things, when you factor that in to what people actually make coaching, you definitely don't get paid very much. But in dealing with young men and young women and helping young men and young women, there's so much joy in that, seeing them, if it's just one young man or young woman that you get to change or help change the direction of their life. And that's kind of the pay in this deal. And, all I know to do is keep spreading that hope and spreading the joy and changing lives. Yes, we can complain. There's tons of things we can all complain about, but the joy of helping a young man or a young woman, change the direction of their life. If it's just one, if we just save one, it was worth every hour.
Yep.
So all I know to do is keep preaching that and keep coaching them up and keep loving them up and keep hugging them up and keep disciplining them when they need discipline and all of those things that we all do. But keep being positive and spreading the word about how great the game or all of the games are, because they have an opportunity to change people's lives.
Absolutely. That's why I have this coach picture right behind me, kids signed. Like, that's a big deal to me. So when kids sign in, thank you, I'm like, that was it. That was worth it.
Yeah.
All these gray hairs that I name after the kids, when one pops up, like, this is yours because you caused this and this and that. Or they're goofy and everything else, and you just face palm and, Coach, do you know this dance or this thing on TikTok? I'm like, nope, no clue.
I don't have time for TikTok.
There's no time for that. So I know we got to get moving along. You're a busy guy. You're a popular guy here. So let's talk about some. You want to talk about some option? Wide zone options,
and we'll kind of bleed that into some wide zone talk as well.
Yep.
Even though we kind of, we have always, Coach Solich, not started this program, but when he got here, 17, 18 years ago, and he has since retired, and Tim Albin has taken over, but this program has been built on, I really believe, physicality on both sides of the football, being able to run the football and being able to stop the run. But part of that has always been, there's been some component of option football. Do we get under center and run inside veer and outside veer? No, that's not what I'm talking about. But we still run speed option and zone option, and either pitch off the end man on line of scrimmage or pitch off of the overhang or the support player, still to this day. And we feel like that's a very important thing in our offense. And we feel like, all the drastic, high fangled third down defenses, double mugs, people mugged up in the line of scrimmage, the threat of actually running option deters and condenses the amount of looks that we have to get prepared for during the week, because there's just certain things that teams won't do or they're a little bit nervous about doing just because of the option component. I would say in my 3 years here, we on average run option 5.3 times a game over the 3 years that I've been here. So I mean, it's not like it's not like it's every down, but it's enough, and we've had enough explosive plays doing it. That, there's certain things I think people are a little bit leery of doing against us because of that factor.
Right.
And then I think it also, if you ask why option over wide zone, I think we don't run a ton of wide zone. We're married to the inside zone, but I think the option component of it, if you have a quarterback that can run the football a little bit, gives you a number where we're able to gain a number by being able to option a defender. So that's those are a couple of the reasons that we've always held true to running some option. And that's our way to get the ball on the perimeter, and stretch the defense from sideline to sideline. So those are a couple of the reasons that we do it. And we can look at some film of it, and I can kind of talk you through it a little bit if you want. And then we can kind of bleed into some wide zone if you have some questions about wide zone or whatever.
Let's do it, because I'm installing wide zone. It's mainly drilling it. I think I got the concept down. It's just drilling it.
Let's see. I hit screen. I want to optimize and then share. Did that get you?
Yep.
Are you seeing me?
Yep.
Okay. I didn't know what we were going with. I had some drill work ready to go, and I got a little option stuff kind of ready to go. If we want to look at it, can you see me?
Yep.
Okay. All right. And I've got there's some NFL clips in here. That's just kind of an install. Where we start on option is we start with optioning the in-man on line of scrimmage or speed, what most people would consider speed option. And the big thing that we teach our tackles, we call it a width, slip, and release. So we want to try to widen, then dip and slip, okay, and release to the second level defender, because we know on option. Now we do some option, Steve, where we fake inside zone this direction for 2 steps. Our quarterback opens and looks like it's zone read, and then we come out the back door with option, which is now going to hold the backers a little bit. But if we are running speed option, we're going to try to widen, slip, and release as much as we can. The big thing that I try to teach here, if I'm in a position that I'm going to get squeezed, okay, we will do what the old veer release stuff, okay? But the big thing I teach is this is a question mark. We want to run a question mark to block that defender. If I just go straight to where he is, of course, everybody knows that I will not be able to block him, because that dude, a lot of the times we're going to run it, it's man coverage, okay, and it's going to be a foot race. So we want to widen and now run a question mark to the front side number of this defender. Now, we had a conversation the other day, and my guys asked me, there are times where we end up working all the way back to a backside backer, or this guy misreads it, or we're running, where we're faking belly or inside zone and then coming back out the back door where we freeze this backer. Sometimes we get out here and we've got some space. And my guys asked me, Coach, do we turn back on the guy or do we stay square? My coaching on that is very simply, if it is a foot race, we stay square. Meaning, if I get out here and as I'm getting out here, that guy is hauling it over the top, then I will stay square. That way, if he tries to run over the top, I can adjust and keep running. If he tries to run underneath me, then I want to shut on the brakes and I'm going to throw this back elbow at him. And I'm going to some of your teaching, I'm going to try to box him out from getting a rebound if he tries to run underneath me. And if I'll just make him widen his path either direction that he's going, we've got a chance at a really good football play. So that's the main thing. And then everywhere else, we're going to full zone, Steve, just like we teach wide zone to the first, second level defender behind the front side backer. Any questions there? I'll kind of show it to you, some of us. Then kind of the next thing is, now our tackles have to understand that if we have edge pressure, that now becomes the end man on the line of scrimmage, and we now are going to full zone. We make a full zone call, and we are full zoning to the first backer in the core, and now the blitzer or the edge blitzer becomes the pitch key. So instead of slipping and releasing this look, if I have edge pressure look, we now make a full zone call, and we full zone it to the first backer in the core is our base rules. And at any point you have questions, let me know. I would love to see our tackle. One of the big things we teach is I want to rip with the backside arm. I want to rip through the armpit, and I want to get the wrist above the ear. We teach the tackle to get the wrist above the ear. So I would like to actually rip, okay, and fight that wrist above the ear, which is going to in turn pull the back hip through the slant for people that like to slant and redirect when they feel zone coming at them. But the big thing is so I can stay strong with my backside hip rather than giving with my backside hip, so I don't lose this guy over the top. So there's a couple of teaching things going on right here that I would love to rip and keep the back hip strong, which will give me a better angle to get to the high number of the backer, which is our landmark, working to that linebacker. If we get the second guy through, we're going to keep coming in zone, and then the second guy through is working to the next second level defender backside. Now we end up making the guy miss, but we can make this a heck of a lot cleaner for our back here, just with a little bit better technique with our play side tackle.
Now, are you telling them to hook, or if it just happens that way?
No, if we go, all right, great question. If we make a full zone call, he is reaching the armpit, and just like a wide zone reach, that's how I teach it. We are running up and through, low to high, through the armpit of the defender. My second step, we are getting vertical on my hip plane through the crotch of the defender. If the defender does not move or he slants, then we teach the backside arm. We are punching. When I teach the reach block, Steve, I think the biggest thing is the relationship between the back knee and the back punch, the back hand. And I teach more about the back side of the reach than I do the front side of the reach. So when we reach through the front side armpit, once we get the first step and my hat in position to the armpit, every bit of my teaching now teaches the back foot, the back knee, and the back hand what we're doing. And we call that a solar plex punch. And we are trying to drive that backhand through the solar plex or right underneath the sternum of that defender, whether we're reaching him, and then that naturally turns into a rip if he doesn't move or he slants. Okay. So when we reach, I want to take that backhand and I mean violently punch it through the midline or the sternum of the defender. And if he slants, now that punch turns into a natural rip where now we want to get wrist above ear and we want to pull the back hip through, not give with the back hip to get through the combination, if that makes sense.
Right. Since it wasn't as high, it kind of slowed him down to get around for that guy coming through.
Exactly. And we don't ever use the term hook.
Okay.
We talk about power reaches because I want them thinking we are powering through that outside armpit of that defender. So that's kind of what we teach and how we teach it. You know, we kind of talked about one of the reasons. So I just showed you a blitz look. Now we're getting one of these fancy. It's 3rd and long. I think this is 3rd and 11, 3rd and 10, something like that. And we get, one of these fancy 3rd down pressures or simulated pressures or whatever these guys are calling them now. Or, hey, they're going to mug up and then they're going to drop out, and just rush 3 or rush 4. So we got both backers mugged up with an overload front weak right here. And we're running option to the field. Again, same thing with our play side tackle. He's going to width, slip, and release. And we teach them, do not ever assume that a mug is going to stay mugged. Your backside guard is zoning the gap, so you continue to width, slip, and release if we're running speed option. He's going to width, slip, and release, and you can see him to continue to widen. But with them mugged up in the line of scrimmage, even though they're dropping, we've got them pinned inside basically.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have their inside out support because it was up in the line of scrimmage, if that makes sense. And we create an explosive run because we caught them in a defense that you want to be running option against in a passing situation. So this is another reason that we do it. And again, our tackle is width, slip, and release, just like we talked about earlier. Everybody else is full zone, and we are reaching the front side armpit of the next adjacent offensive lineman. And that's very simply how we teach it. Now, this guy right here, one of the things, Steve, that we spend a lot of time on, and you end up teaching the backside tackle that he is working through trying to get to the backside backer. If he can't get to the backside backer, I want him to continue on his natural path to a 25 to 30 yard spot to the far hash, or if we're running it into the boundary, from the middle of the field to the boundary to the far numbers, he is the touchdown block. He is making the touchdown block. And you can see here that I think we need to be working harder to that 25 yard spot, but we're not working real hard back here. And you coach that, you coach that, you coach that, you coach that all year. But if we work a little bit harder right here, there's going to be, if we pop it, there's going to be somebody in a pursuit angle back there that we need to get to and affect that could possibly give us a touchdown on the front side, and the guy makes a tackle. If we work harder on the backside right there on the touchdown block, our tailback may go all the way right here, if that makes sense. So that's a huge thing that I stress, that I coach, and we're not doing a good – and I show this every year. This young man was a great player and one of the hardest workers we had, and he got a little bit confused by the look, and he kind of got tripped over the feet. But I think it's a great example of, hey, we got to kick it in high gear, and we need to run to about a 25 or 30 yard spot to the far hash. And that's where, if you're going to make a block back here, that's where that block is going to happen.
I'm stealing that because installing wide zone this year, my guys really want to chase and hit somebody. So I'm trying to tell them to read the knee. You know, if the knee goes, the knee, I try to take basketball, the hips and the knee will take you.
Yes.
It's going to show you where they go.
Yes.
And I have a young man who is awesome guard. He just wants to hit people. He plays linebacker. Also, he wants to hit people. So he wants to go get them. And
Yes.
I'm going to teach those terminologies, but I try to tell him, like, if he leaves you, just move on. There's somebody else to hit. Just keep going. You'll find somebody.
Yes. I'm going to show you this one real quick, Steve, and I'm fixing to have to go here in just a second. But here's the difference in option versus wide zone to me. Okay. We are solid blocking this, okay, to that right there. All right. This is a perfect wide zone combination, in my opinion. Okay. And my film's choppy a little bit right there, but you can see I love the track of our tackle. I love where our guard is on the front side armpit. Okay. I love where we are in this combination if we're running wide zone. We've got to be a little bit looser and have a little bit better angle to the backer if we're running option. And I use this every year in installation of the two. Perfect. If our back has the ball and he is running one at the outside leg of the tackle right here, that backer, we are in perfect shape to block that backer. If he goes outside, the ball's going to get jump cut up inside of that. You know, if the ball is pressing here and the backer hangs back, then we're going to get outside of that. But with a track of option, this dude is going to be able to run over the top to the quarterback with full flow. So our angle has to be a little bit different on option versus wide zone. So that's how we teach them. That's how we teach them a little bit differently, is just our tracks are different in the backfield. So therefore our landmarks be a little bit different. And that's why we spend a lot more time on option than we do wide zone. And then let me show you one more thing on option. I've showed you to the nub side or to the speed option side. Now we're going to the tight end, and now this is going to be zone option. And he and the play side tackle are going to zone to the first backer in the box. Okay. And anytime we run zone option, we man block on the backside to the backside backer. So our front side guard is solo. He has no help from his center. Our backside guard is solo right here, and our backside tackle and our center are man blocking the backside backer to the backside safety right here. So you'll see us full zone to the first backer. Quarterback is now going to pitch off support because we are running it to a tight end. So in this look, this safety is going to end up being the support player. Receiver should block man on or run him off if it's man. He does a great job of selling him versus man coverage and then flipping on him right here. We are pitching off of the support player, but this goes back to, hey, if we ran wide zone right here, we would have to, push crack, MDM, whatever you call this block where that receiver's reading it. And now, yes, you want to make corners, make plays, make tackles, but if you've got a quarterback that can run the football, then why not use him to create a number? So we're just running wide zone right here. We're just doing it with our quarterback. And now he, in effect, is blocking the support player. And there's that touchdown. There's that touchdown block back here. He's now 25 or 30 yards to the far hash, Steve. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now he gets outrun right here, but we outrun that pursuit angle. So this is zone option to the tight end, and we man block it. Now, if we get any kind of edge pressure look, we make an edge pressure call over here, and then the man blocking is off, and it turns man to zone versus an edge pressure look on the backside. So there's a little bit of option right there, both to the nub side as well as to the tight end side, speed option versus zone option.
I'm stealing this. Some of them. I'm going to try to. get back in the option game.
We can jump back on again sometime and dive deeper into it. I hope that was a little bit of a help.
It was, and I like some of the terminology. I love your terminology every time I talk to you, what you use for your O-line. And I try to steal some of it, whatever is easier for the kids.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll jump back on and talk about it more because I love that stuff, how it all works together. But I know you got to go, Coach. I appreciate you being on here.
Heck yeah. Great to talk to you. Great to see you again. And if there's anything we can ever do, please let us know.
Oh, I will. And next time I'll have my Ohio shirt on.
Hey, I love it. I love it. We're all running around really fast. And so, hey, I the bad thing is we can't get Coach Banster to wear a dang Ohio shirt so, I'm not going to blame you. He's a huge Ohio fan. You know that. He loves Athens. He loves Ohio University, but I got to get him wearing more Ohio gear, and he's going to say, well, bring it to me. But I think that's illegal. That's what I tell him anyway.
I was going to say, just send it to me and not him, and then we'll see what happens.
Hey, I appreciate you. Have a great day, man.
Thank you. Thanks, Coach. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Talk to you later.